Hello. Hello, guys, and welcome to the Scar Thumb Podcast. I'm David, and today, man, we're talking about Gamergate 2.0, or at least that's what some people are calling it. So, wondering why I might have how Alloy fits into all this. This is Alloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. Well, I think this is what Gamergate is really all about. Under the surface. But to give you some background, the original Gamergate was about a journalist. Start off with a journalist name, not a journalist, but a game maker called Zoe Quinn, who slept around with some guys, kind of exchanging, or at least being friendly with people sort of in the industry, the journalism industry, and these sort of connections and friendships and cliques, sometimes sexual, led to positive reviews, and people basically got to see the sort of incestuous nature of game development, especially indie game development, and the games journalism. Where they're all sort of friends with each other. They're all scratching each other's backs. And people got mad at this. They realized, why are you doing this? But underneath the surface of all of that, the anger that people were feeling was really because of stuff like this. The fact that a lot of these video games now, the video game industry was growing up, it wanted to be sort of taken seriously in a lot of these creative liberal circles, so they needed to push the medium forward, in air quotes. And they were doing that at the expense of sort of people's enjoyment of these games, where you now have a character like this. Alloy, Horizon Zero Dawn. This is a major game, probably costs over $100 million to make. Yet you're going to make your female lead, the star of this game, this ugly. I mean, look at this. This is not a face that is made to appeal to your like 60% plus male demographic. Like over 60% is going to be straight men, and you're making her look like this. Meanwhile, when game makers make a character that looks like this, you have games journalism falling over themselves to call this a step backwards. This is from, I think, Digital Foundry said it best when they said this character design feels like it's a game from the early 2000s in terms of character design. And what he means is that it's clearly made to appeal to men. And underneath it, I think this is what both the current Gamergate and the previous Gamergate is kind of the anger underneath all of it. As men kind of feel like, hey, we're the primary people that play these games. We're the primary reason that this industry has grown so much. It's grown off of our money. Why is it not appealing to us? Why are we being thrown out in order for developers to please the sort of like journalism and the journalism industry, or the sort of liberal creative circles that these people run in order to score points with them? They want to make their characters look like this instead of this. Or at the very least, I mean, come on, at least make this girl look attractive. And then you have stuff like this. I mean, look at this character right here. You probably can't see her in the left. You have this androgynous girl with the ugly side haircut. And if you look at the bottom here, she's literally has blades for legs. She's disabled. Again, androgynous. And this is and you'll see in these articles where they'll talk about diversity. This is diversity, what they mean by it. They don't mean, hot Korean girl. They mean ugly, androgynous, Oscar Pistorius legs, fat, black girl. That's totally unappealing to men. Essentially, this is what they mean by diversity. Unappealing to men. So, with the current Gamergate, that aside, current Gamergate, This was started off, Gamergate 2.0. This was started off by two people, Felix at home, and this person called Chris Kindred, who is a they, where they told people to report this group. They didn't like the idea that there's a group called Sweet Baby Incorporated, or Sweet Baby Incorporated Detected, a Steam curator, that basically tells people which games this company worked on and tells them to avoid it. So Chris Kindred said, report this group, and even went a step further than that and told people to report the creator of the group, hoping really that they would lose their account, lose access to all the games that they've played so far. Over 60 new games. This person clearly likes video games, so they wanted them to lose all of this. Simply because they made a Steam group saying that the games Sweet Baby Inc. works on are probably bad, because Sweet Baby Inc. is a consultancy firm that specializes in adding diversity to these games, or narrative design, to make them more, the diverse people feel, more real, authentic, is what they try to say. But essentially, like I said, diversity means unappealing to men. It's, appealing to the sort of theys of the world, making these, again, androgynous, ugly characters, or, making them, a lot of people would say, more woke. But I want to be specific in pointing it out that it essentially means making it more appealing, or more unappealing, to the core audience of the game. They make these games worse. And that is why this Steam group existed. It is why now that this Steam group has almost 250,000 followers, when I last looked at it, it's about to reach 250,000 followers, up from, and you look when Felix first took a screenshot of it, it was 5,000. This was, I don't have the exact date, but this was sometime last week that it had this many followers. And now it is up to 250,000. Things have gone viral. People obviously kind of latched on to this, and they're using Sweet Baby, I wouldn't say as a scapegoat, but in a way, they're a stand-in for people's frustration, the sort of customers' frustration with what is a deliberate effort to make these games unappealing. A deliberate effort to sort of make the developers, the studios look better at the expense of the customer, the primary audience, making these characters, again, look ugly. This is ugly. There's no other way to say it. I mean, look at this face on the right. This isn't the sort of idealized Fimo form at all.